Welcome to the Renegade Arcade.
Let's go, bub.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this. Fighting is ready. Welcome to the world of Street Fighter 3. Engage. Prepare for battle. Are you ready?
Infinite. Yeah, welcome to EVO. I'll be your CEO. Where players are happy to see you go. Let me see what you really got. You really about that life where you just all block. You really gonna do something? Forget the small talk. I'll drop a rose by your feet and make your heart stop. It's time to show them your level like you the world boss. Either you in the top 6 or got crossed. If you want first place, you better lock in. If they be out here screaming, let's go, Justin. And you can talk tough if you want to. They out here spinning the block just like a corkscrew. And there's only gonna be one champ for each year. You wanna be him, just pick the top tier. You on top and feeling glorious, badge of honor, salute, you victorious. Yo, make the first move, so what's it gonna be? We chapter the new world of Street Fighter 3, the third chapter, so what's it gonna be?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of the Renegade Arcade Reloaded. We are just going to be talking about a lot of news that is currently still happening, actually, as we record this. It's still San Diego Comic-Con is ongoing, so this is, Saturday of the con as we're recording. Anyway, my name is Neoplasmic, also known as Neo. With me today, I have the lovely Allie.
Hello.
Allie is, of course, our princess, and we also have two newcomers to the podcast as well. First up, I have Ryn, my captain. Hello, sir.
Oh, dude.
And the lovely Scottish. Hello, Scottish.
Hello, gorgeous.
Aw. Okay, so guys, we have a lot of news to cover. My God. I want to start off, first of all, because this is kind of an important thing, and it's kind of an ongoing story right now, is the SAG-AFTRA strike against the video game industry, which is ongoing right now. There are three major reasons why a lot of actors and voice actors are striking against the industry right now. The main three, I should say, are higher wages, mandatory break times, and on-set medics for live performances, which would be anything like motion capture and stuff like that. I can't believe they don't have on-set medics. That's crazy. And also AI protections as well. Some of the game studios, according to this article that I'm reading right now via IGN, there are some companies and some studios which have signed an interim deal to ensure protections for voice actors who did want to opt into using AI in their work. Although not all members of the union were thrilled about this agreement. So apparently, I guess they're opting into that being okay for them. And some game studios have also signed interim agreements with the union that include the AI protections that the guild is asking for. So it's a very complicated thing, it seems like, because there are projects, of course, that are already done. Some games that have gone gold, which means that they're ready to be basically released. They're on the final stretch basically of bug testing and everything to get released, assuming that there is still bug testing in the industry. Haha, commentary. But like, it's basically
This is why we need Terminex in video games.
Right. It's basically a thing where the actors are right. I mean, I'm gonna say that I definitely support SAG-AFTRA in this, because this is, again, what they're arguing for really affects their livelihood. Having an AI, basically a robot, read lines in the actor's voice, that is not cool with me.
No,
Yeah, no, it's really intrusive as well. Like, I just seen
So
something that kind of
intrusive.
related to this earlier,
Mhm.
where TikTokers' content is being used where it's their body, like they're doing the dance and whatever, but then the face is being replaced by somebody else. So like any of this AI stuff that they're using for like this quote craft stuff, with the media and whatever, it's just so intrusive.
Yeah, it really is. I hope that everything, the negotiations and everything just go smoothly for them, and that they're able to come to an agreement, and hopefully a lot of these interim agreements will lead to a larger agreement for the union and for the studios and everything, because really, to have something like AI, come in and move in and affect people's livelihoods and everything, and take away jobs from hardworking actors who get in the booth, who spend hours and hours in recording booths, because video games are not like movies and TV shows where you have to just record, a specific amount of lines of dialogue. Sometimes, depending on, if it's a narrative game, depending on if you have dialogue choices and stuff like that, you have to do multiple readings. You have to do multiple inflections in your voice. Like, just so much that goes into recording lines for a video game. And I think that in this case, they deserve to have their livelihoods protected. And, especially, like I said, on-set medic, they don't even have that. That's crazy to me.
I
They
find
really
that
should have that.
absolutely wild. Like,
Yeah.
but kind of an off tangent with the whole Alec Baldwin thing. I was hearing that it was a real gun that they used on set, and I was like,
Mhm.
"What? Are you kidding me?" Like, coming from a Scot, like, who doesn't understand the whole American thing with the guns, like. I can't understand. Like, I can totally get wanting to replicate like a real life gun, but why do you need a real ass gun that could potentially have real life bullets? And then you're coming in and you're just causing all this like danger.
Yeah.
I mean, look at even like during the COVID times when people were, being shoved off the set because they weren't needed per se, and then people were getting hurt. Like, it's just ridiculous. And then these guys just having no medical at all. It's just unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. So what they're saying right now is essentially, as a consumer, in the immediate sense, games will not be totally affected by the strike because of the fact that there's a lot that are already in the pipeline that have been done. Also, like we said, interim deals have been made between studios and the union, to the point where you can still have a bunch of games in production. So right now, it appears that, we won't see like immediate after effects of the strike. However, in the future, obviously things are gonna, tighten up if they don't reach an agreement. So hopefully, from what I've seen from like performers that I follow on Twitter and stuff like that, like some of the voice actors that I follow on Twitter and stuff, are saying that or are at least, tweeting out that there appears to be some movement, which is a good thing. I hope that they get the negotiations go smoothly and that the actors get what they need in order to continue, because obviously, we want to have great voice acting in our video games and stuff, and we want them to have, a livelihood, and we want them to have a livable wage, especially in this economy, you know what I mean? So when I post this in the show notes, we will have links to the SAG-AFTRA website. We will have links to where you can go to support the actors if you wish, and also, we'll definitely, give you some resources and stuff like that when we post this. So anyway, I just wanted to highlight that as the first news story, because it's very important and it has to do with a very real, real repercussions of what could happen due to the strike. So hopefully, everything works out, and I'm proud of the actors for taking a stand here and for defending their own livelihoods and stuff. I think that's a really good thing.
Well, I've seen plenty of clips and stuff on TikTok and YouTube stuff about how challenging the job is to be a mocap actor for video games, because
Extremely.
like there was when they could have, for example, take The Last of Us, the when they did the remake for the PS4 and then to the PS5.
Yes.
They didn't just copy the data over and update the models. No, they actually had the actors come in and redo key scenes for those games. And I remember one clip particularly, the mocap actor who did the motion capture for Joel had to reenact the scene of dealing with the death of his daughter so many times because he thought he was doing it perfect. He thought he was doing great. And he was getting pissed because they weren't accepting it. They didn't like it. But still, with that one, it wasn't very action intensive.
Yeah.
But it was still very emotionally intensive. And
Extremely.
In my opinion, when it comes to mocapping for stuff, it's not just the action scenes that you need to be paid for. They need to be rewarded for doing a damn good job for helping those characters portray the emotion.
Yeah, because it's all about performance, and it's all about, like, it's not just stunts and stunt work and everything like that, which is very important as well, but, like, you have to, in Troy Baker's case, who was playing Joel, he really gave his all in terms of the emotional content of that moment, and to have to keep on going to that well and to keep on having to like reach that emotional climax in the scene, I think it's really super, just super intense. And he did really, really well, and I love the way that the take that they ended up using, and I'm sure I would have loved a lot of his other takes as well. Allie, do you have any opinion on this? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that this took so long to get to this point. Now, I have not been following as closely on this story to know how long that people have been working on this or anything, but we've been dealing with AI stuff for years now. Like, the whole deepfake thing has been causing problems for a long time, and it actually kind of surprised me that the guild hasn't gotten further ahead back when that started being a problem, because it was the next logical step where it was going to go was obviously going to be in video games.
Yeah,
so I don't know how much work they tried to put in to get ahead of this before we got to this point now, but I mean, this kind of seemed like an obvious problem that was coming along as AI got developed.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is something that we'll be watching, and we'll keep an eye on as time goes, because I hope that everything works out and that they hopefully can negotiate whatever they need to continue their work. Okay, second item of news. Let's move on here. So San Diego Comic-Con, like I said, is going on right now this weekend. We are in the, I want to say, third day of the convention.
Saturday. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I guess you could say technically it's day 2, because Thursday is kind of like, I don't know what they would call it. Like back in the E3 days, we used to call it like the preview day or whatever, but like they had things going on Thursday night, so I guess it's like day 3. Anyway, so some fans that have been attending San Diego Comic-Con have noticed that there are a display for the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, the graphic novel. It's a prequel graphic novel that they have coming out called The Dead Shall Rise, which is set to release soon. Also, some statues and some basically like some art and statues and figures and stuff that you're seeing of the characters. So it's clear that the IP is being used, obviously, for the prequel graphic novel. But, I haven't seen activity on the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver IP for a long, long time. And some people have noticed that with the art that they're seeing and the statues that they're seeing in things, they are noticing that it says Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remaster. So there's branding apparently that's being applied on the displays, which is leading to some speculation that we're going to be seeing more out of the series soon, which I hope is true, because that series is badass, and frankly, it deserves a remaster. Wario64 over on Twitter reported this. Well, it's saying remastered, apparently, is what they're saying.
Oh no, that's probably what they're doing. But in my personal opinion, it deserves a reboot, because
it does deserve a
modern
reboot.
Technology.
Agreed.
Like I'm still pissed that the only way you can legitimately play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver right now is if you have the game on the old consoles.
Yeah.
Or you use an emulator on the computer, because Steam has it on sale. Well, it's not on sale, but they're selling it on Steam. But nowadays computers are too technologically advanced. Which is upsetting, because that was one of I played Blood Omen. I played Blood Omen 2. I have the entire Legacy of Kain series that Steam has on there, including the failed MMO Nosgoth.
Nosgoth, yep, that's right.
And I absolutely loved the Legacy of Kain games. Like, I would get those games as soon as they dropped after I played the first one and fell in love with it. It was like my very first true action adventure open world game. And Zelda, but it's not Zelda. Let's be real here. Zelda's good, don't get me wrong.
Have you tried the
Legacy of Kain?
Did you try the GOG versions of it? Because apparently they have them all on sale there. I don't know if they work or not.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so they have it on Good Old Games, which is, GOG.com, GOG. But yeah, so, as we know, they were released, the first Soul Reaver was released in 1999, Soul Reaver 2 in 2001. on basically on like PS2, and this was back in the early days. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 was on PS1, so like that's way back in the day. The last entry, and Blood Omen, Blood Omen as well, the last entry was Defiance, and that was released in 2003. So it's been a long time. It's been well over 20 years.
And I seriously hope if the remaster gets as much of a following as it does if they actually do it, that they continue the story, because the end of Defiance was amazing, but it was a cliffhanger.
Oh, oof. Wow.
And that upset me, because it showed that it finally gave Kain something he never had in the entire series. And that was something that really, really hit home with me. Because Raziel had given him hope, and he had never had that throughout the entire series of the other games. And if you look at it and look at how he acts in every single one of those games, yes, there's courage, there's strength, there's passion. There's even romance in Blood Omen 2 when he kind of has a thing for one of the female vampires in that game. But there's no hope on any of in the way he acts and the way he talks with any of it. And the way he spoke at the end of Defiance, I truly hope that, number one, they do actually make a Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered or rebooted. I don't care. Either one would be fine by me. And if it goes well, I hope they would continue the series.
Yep, I do as well. Oh, that would be a really cool series to see come back, because it's just been a long time. Scottish Alley, do you have anything to add to this one, or are you familiar with Soul Reaver? Did you play it back in the day?
I'm not really familiar with it at all, but I always get behind fan sleuths, always figuring out secret things that are being dropped.
Me too.
Yes, I love finding these little things. Like I'm a big fan of finding something like either way down the line, like shows or games or whatever, when it's like fully remastered or fully released, things like that. I'm finding it down the line, because whenever somebody comes to me and says, "Oh, you need to play this. This is the best thing ever. It's just released." Blah blah blah. I just go, no, thank you. That's just too much for me. Like the pathological demand avoidance kicks in, and it's like, you've just told me to do something, I ain't gonna do it, fuck you. But I'm just looking at Soul Weaver, just googling it quickly now, and look at like just like little clips and little pictures and stuff, and they look really, really good. Like the design of it and the color and even just the quality of it, like from back when it was made, is like, it's unreal. So seeing that remastered is pretty cool.
And the script was absolutely amazing for the games too. They did a really good job with the script writing.
This is something I would definitely recommend to my partner, because he is huge into like these story-based games as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Also, Scottish, I'm going to do a little play on your name here and just say, what if they made a Scottish Soul Reaver?
Oh, God.
Oh, you just made me tingle.
See, now I'm just picturing Raziel talking with a Scottish accent and give me a soul.
If only Roddy Piper were here to voice them.
Do you know what? Do you know who I would nominate for doing that kind of voice with a Scottish accent? It would be David Tennant. He does things for me. I think that would be
honestly, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Holy shit!
I would most definitely want Matt Mercer to portray the Time Guardian that pretends to be the good guy for the whole part, for Raziel and Kain, but he's playing both sides against the other. And then at the very end, he just kind of gets he gets what's coming to him. And I can't think of anyone but Matt Mercer for that role. Skinny old man.
I love that.
Okay, moving onward here. Let's talk about another kind of an older game that is getting their first DLC in 10 years over on Steam. A little game called Castle Crashers from the Behemoth. So this is a little, it's like a 2D/3D beat 'em up, featuring 4 different knights. I believe it was 4. And basically, you had like the Red Knight, the Green Knight, Black Knight, and Blue Knight, I think, if I remember correctly. I think I remember that correctly. Anyway, It's been a while since I played it. But yeah, Castle Crashers, very good game, very good beat 'em up game. Getting its first DLC on Steam in 10 years from the behemoth.
That's-
like I said,
you know,
it's crazy.
I was not expecting
I was
it.
not
I really was not
expecting
expecting that.
Like,
You know, it's
at
like the Spanish
all.
Inquisition.
Yeah,
No one
Castle
expects.
Crashers gets the DLC before GTA 5 or GTA 6 even.
right.
Fucking hell.
Right. Castle Crashers of all things. So this is called Painter Boss Paradise is the name of the DLC pack. And what it's going to do is it's going to focus on workshop capabilities in Steam. So in other words, you can create your own night skins. You can choose preferred magic. You can share it. There's a new character that you can play as named Paint Jr., who apparently can create powerful art to vanquish his foes, which is awesome. There's
He's gonna make it just to go rabbit.
there's like a visual refresh of the game as well. They're putting some work into this, which I'm pretty excited about, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
It's so cool.
most definitely.
Yeah, they're keeping the game alive. It's been 10 years. My God.
Yeah.
Have you guys played Castle Crashers, and what do you think of it? And Rin, we'll start with you.
Okay. Yes, I've played Castle Crashers. I loved it. I've actually managed to get all the way through the story. To this day, whenever I do play it, I still try to get all the swords unlocked and everything else. But I do have a lot of the characters unlocked too, and it is a really great game. It speaks for itself in gameplay capabilities. It's just challenging enough to keep you interested and play it over and over and over again. The leveling up system is really, really simple, but also really, really in depth, because you can have some really interesting builds for your character.
Mm-hmm.
And I always go magic build whenever I played, so yeah, I would spam magic like it's nobody's business. But
Nice.
but yeah, I would always. But like, it's just the story, and it's the best part about it is it's one of the few games out there whose story does not need a script for voices. All like literally everything can be portrayed and was portrayed without using any voice acting or anything at all in regards to that. And that right there says a lot.
Yeah, certainly it does. Certainly it does. Allie, any opinions on this one?
Not many. It's actually a game I've never played, surprisingly. Given the number of people that recommended it to me.
I think you would like it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Scottish,
I
have you ever
probably
played it?
would. I don't remember exactly what prevented me from playing it. I don't know, time, money, both. Who knows? But yeah, I just never got around to it.
Okay. Scottish, have you ever played it before?
I've not. This is another one that was never really around when I was younger. You know what it reminds me of? I'm just having a little look at the clip there of the announcement, and it really reminds me of the DS game back in the day called Scribblenauts.
Yes.
And it was a really
see that.
artistic game, and oh man, I loved that game. And having a look at the Scribblenauts DLC stuff earlier, it's definitely something I would play, because I'm definitely that sort of crafty, creative, being able to customize your own little characters and stuff like that. Definitely up my street.
Nice. One little quick news item that I also came across as well is that Stellar Blade apparently has a summer update right now available, and there's 2 new outfits, and people are going nuts about it because they're pretty hot.
I mean, it's Stellar Blade. You're going to look at the butt every time you climb up or down the ladder.
Yep. This is true.
Anyone who says they don't is lying.
Right. And there is there's some patch notes to it, to the update as well. There's a small area for a summer vacation at the Great Desert Oasis. So, you can give Eve a little bit of a break there and have her just kind of have some fun during the summer fun, as we used to say. So yeah, Stellar Blade, if you love it, you love it. And if you don't, what's wrong with you? Okay, moving on. I'm going to just move on from that now. Let's go to, I'm going to just give you a couple of reasons why Capcom is right now the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is because not only have they been one of my favorite developers and publishers for many, 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 many years, they have found incredible success in this generation, and they're also not going to bail out on physical releases because the quote given is that, given that a significant number of end users demand physical games, we currently do not expect to eliminate physical products. So Good on you, Capcom. Please keep it up. Please keep doing what you're doing because you guys are showing the industry how to move forward in a positive direction, I feel. For the most part. Capcom is not a perfect company. However, you know, they do a lot of really good things. Yeah. And they've been finding a lot of success with their Resident Evil remakes and just like doing a really good job. Marvel vs. Capcom collection's coming out soon. I'm so excited for that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys have any particular Capcom games that you love or that you remember fondly? Allie, let's start with you. Yeah. What do you think?
I probably out of the whole list that, at least that I can remember off the top of my head, was Steel Battalion for the Xbox. That was probably like the most awesome thing you could ever do for a console. And it came from, lost my train of thought. Sorry, but
That's okay.
Yeah, for those who don't remember Steel Battalion, this thing came with a whole like $200 controller that was right at the edge, put you right at the edge of just virtual reality. I mean, you put this thing right in front of like a small TV and you might as well have virtual reality. This controller had like, what was it? I think like 30 some buttons, 12 switches, 3 pedals, 2 joysticks.
I never had it, but I remember reading about it and being like, whoa, that's cool.
I had it for a while until I ran into one mission that particularly pissed me off and then I sold it to a friend, but I regret that ever since.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine what that has now on eBay? Jeez.
Right. Yeah, I've looked it up. It's a lot.
That's a lot. Scottish, any particular Capcom games that you remember? Stuff like Mega Man, Bionic Commando, Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Dino Crisis. So much.
Again, not really my thing. Like I mean, I was a 1995 baby, so we grew up with the world of Nintendo Wii's and stuff like that. But I do remember a game that I played recently. Well, I should say recently, maybe about 10 years ago now. There was one called Dead Rising.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm not sure if you can maybe guess why I enjoyed that game so much.
Zombie killing, maybe? Maybe
zombie
some zombie killing,
and then there was the super massager, the dildo shooting gun.
There you go. That's what we're talking about.
That was absolutely my favorite thing. And do you know what that got me really into? Apart from like Dead Island and Left 4 Dead, that got me really into zombie games.
Yeah. I can imagine. That is also getting a remaster very, very soon. So yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is coming out. We covered that in our last episode, as a matter of fact. Ryn, tell me about your Capcom memories, sir.
Let's see.
We're pulls out a list.
When I was just a little child. No, my very first Capcom game was one of the Mega Mans. I think it was Mega Man 4.
Yep.
And hated it because it was too damn hard.
Yeah, the Mega Man games are notoriously difficult.
And then I got back into it with Mega Man X, and I fell in love with the first game. I could never beat 2 or 3. And then when it released on PlayStation, I dove headfirst into the 4, 5, and 6s. And then I got my taste of Resident Evil. I had never played 1 and 2. My very first Resident Evil game was Resident Evil 3. I made the stupid mistake at 13 years old of playing it in the dark by myself with the door closed.
Ooh.
Oh. The scene when Nemesis busted through the police building's window, as you walk by, I literally paused the game, shut the game off, and I never touched it again.
Oh my god!
It scared me that bad.
I understand.
And then I finally decided to face my fears when the remake came out, and I dove headfirst into the 2 remake of 2, 3, 7, and 8. And then when 4 dropped, I played it, and it don't scare me as much at all anymore. But still, just to this day, that scene will forever be terrifying to me.
I bet. Yeah, that's that is quite the game to be playing in the dark by yourself. Yeah. For
memory.
Me, for me, my memories go back to the Dreamcast. Because especially at that time, Dreamcast is my all-time favorite console. And Capcom, of course, was like one of the major supporters of the Dreamcast, and they had so many, you know, this was right at the kind of like the tail end of the arcade era, I would say. So it's like a lot of their games were very much in that style. You know, you had a lot of fighting games. You had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which I'm gonna, you know, wax poetic on later. But like, there was a game called Cannon Spike, which was for Dreamcast, and it was kind of a top-down, you know, overhead shooter type of thing. And it featured Cammy from the Street Fighter series, as well as like a whole bunch of other characters and stuff. And it was just a shoot 'em up. But it was really cool. I loved the whole look of the game. It was a very short game, but it was a lot of fun to play, and that was something that I just really appreciated as a gamer back then. I liked the fact that I didn't have to like devote like hours and hours and hours of my life. You know, you could just play it and just get through it and have a lot of fun that way. And you know, it was a nice diversion. It was one of those games that I could just play and not have to, you know, you don't have to think too hard. You just play it and just have fun. Also, Power Stone, which deserves a re-release or a remaster or a reboot or something. I wish Capcom, you know, given that Capcom is really doing a lot of back catalog stuff nowadays, I hope that they look at Power Stone. Also, Rival Schools and Project Justice, two amazing fighting games. Rival Schools was for the original PlayStation, the PS1. Project Justice was on Dreamcast. It was the sequel. Basically, you take a bunch of high schoolers and have them fight their teachers and fight each other. And there were like teams of 2 or teams of 3 or whatever they were. It was a crazy, wacky, you know, sort of idea for a fighting game, but very, very cool at the same time. Some of the characters from that series have gone on to appear in other series, like Kyosuke was in Capcom vs. SNK 2. Akira was in Street Fighter 5 recently, so that was really neat to see. I think even Batsu was in either Street Fighter 5 or something else, was one of those. But yeah, I mean, they had some really cool characters and nice character designs and everything. Akira was super cool. One of my favorite characters of all time.
Wait, are we talking Akira from the anime?
No. This was from Project Justice and Rival Schools, so completely different character, but that was her name. It was even a girl. It was a girl character. But yeah, so, you know, that's kind of my major memories of Capcom, was just seeing them like really support the Dreamcast and everything like that. Also, shout out to Beautiful Joe. I don't know if you guys remember that game, that series. There was Beautiful Joe, Beautiful Joe 2.
There were 2 of them.
I love that series so much. It was such a great, like, it was so awesome.
It really was.
So what it was this like kind of like super deformed sort of art style that was like a 2D, 3D hybrid, like a cell shaded sort of thing. And it was for the GameCube. Yeah, 2.5D. And just like in the second one you could play as Joe and you could play as his girlfriend. I forget her name already, but like, because it's been years. But I mean, I just love those games so much. It was so cool, and there were moments where you were like an actor on screen or something, like Joe would have to pose and everything as he's doing it, you know, as he's doing like his moves and everything and killing all the bad guys and stuff. Amazing stuff. Capcom's always been creative, you know, and that's something that I really appreciate about their studio. So, like I said, I wish
they would re-release Joe too. I hope they remake those or remaster them or something.
Too. That needs a remaster so much. Last time Beautiful Joe appeared was, I think, in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but you know, it was good to see him there, and so hopefully, you know, nobody's forgotten about him over at Capcom. I hope not. Okay, moving on. Ubisoft released an apology to Japanese fans regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows and the marketing, some of the promotional materials that they've been using for that. Apparently, the issue was the use of a Japanese Historical Society's flag design, which is a modern-day design, even though they're a historical society. It appeared in promo materials for Shadows. It was used without permission, and so Ubisoft has apologized, you know, due to the lack of permission and the lack of historical accuracy there. You know, it's a story that's been going around, and of course, you know, you had some people, some whiny people, sign a petition about, you know, how it's not realistic. And of course, we know the main reasons why they made that petition and all that stuff, and we know what's really behind all of this attitude towards Ubisoft's team here with Assassin's Creed Shadows. But I'll just say this, the usage without permission, that's kind of a thing, that's kind of a no-no. But in terms of the realism of the series, I can honestly say that the Assassin's Creed series has never been completely 100% realistic, unless Nikola Tesla really did build a bunch of lightning spewing weapons and give it to a bunch of assassins and then go and assassinate the Pope. Anyway.
Yeah, that really gets me. Like, with anything like this, it's like as a proud Scot, for example, there's a lot of things that can be portrayed in a game based around Scotland or any other country in the world, and it's like not completely accurate. And I'm fully for accuracy, especially when they are going for accuracy and they want to represent a country. But when you've got these like massive, like almost magical scenes where they've got these like superhuman strength and whatever else, it's a game.
It is.
As long as they're representing it in a respectful way,
Yeah.
the rest of it is a bit fun.
I did notice like there was also some complaints about the cultural, like how they treated the culture in the game as well. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of people that got pissed off about that too.
I think, there's some people that are pissed off for, I think, valid reasons, and there's a good chunk of people that are pissed off because, there's a certain character in the game that,
There were people that got pissed off at another game because of some of the people who made the game's viewpoints and stances on certain things, and they vandalized the company. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's insane.
This is where companies need to bring on, what's the word? Like just consultants, genuine consultants that can give them the information, rather than just going off of like what they can find on the internet. Getting an actual historical consultant. They have to be sensitive.
They do claim to work with historical consultants and producers and people like that have come on to help them out and stuff. And I think that's a good thing, like you said, Scottish. I think that's definitely something that's needed. Yeah. Just to treat the culture with sensitivity and everything like that. And I think, what I've seen of the game has not looked that bad. I don't know people are complaining about, really, but like in terms of the actual game itself. But like, I can see like, using the historical society's modern day flag and stuff and not getting their permission to do it, that's kind of iffy.
I feel strange about the whole needing permission to use a flag. It's I don't know, unless there's
I guess it's the design or something, maybe.
Protective significance behind it. Yeah,
maybe there's some significance there. Allie, do you have any opinion on this or any thoughts?
Every argument that comes out of just that drives me nuts about, this is not 100% accurate. It's kind of ridiculous because they're like, it's always somebody who's butthurt about one specific detail. If you want this all to be everything in realistic in real life, then why don't you charge the main character with murder? Like, that's about as ridiculous as your arguments are.
I mean, pretty much.
Of course, like, everything's not going to be 100% historically accurate because we've all taken history classes. History is 99% boring. Like, of course, they're going to add other elements and everything in all types of media to make it more interesting. I mean, we've had this argument, like, across all kinds of these, like, movies and games and everything. Like, just off the top of my head, where everybody goes on about was the movie with Mel Brooks, The Patriot, about how, like, the main character wasn't actually in the final battle and all this stuff. And I'm like, but if we followed his actual life, the end of the movie would be really fucking boring.
The Mel Gibson movie, right? The Mel Gibson one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay. I was like, Mel Brooks, that would have been a very different movie. Okay, so moving on from that, there's one more piece of news that I really want to be highlighting here, which is we're finally getting that Shadows of the Damned Hella Remastered Edition. It's coming out on Halloween, which is the perfect time for it to be released.
Nice.
I cannot wait to replay this game. It has been so long.
I'm so excited.
So excited about this. Grasshopper Manufacturer doing some work on that. NetEase is actually going to be the publisher of this, which is interesting to me. The trailer that they had some of the most screamy audio that I've ever heard in my life. However, it was pretty funny to see them just, always like relabeling like Suda51. Like they had him at one point as like part-time influencer Suda51, who's like the producer of the game. And also the, the writer of it and everything. And they had him like as a part-time influencer. They had him as a gamer. They had him as Gamescom 2024 attendee. So funny.
I struggled with it a little bit because it goes back and forth between like the gameplay and the title and gameplay and title. That with my attention span, I struggled with that.
Yeah,
but
I had a little bit of a hard time too.
What I think it was that trailer because I had to watch a few times.
Yeah.
There was a scene in the trailer where I swear, like the girl that was reaching out for the main character, I swear she was either on his dick or she was his dick. Like,
I'm pretty sure she was on his dick, because I mean he's Garcia Hotspur.
She was just so positioned and like so he bent over and I was like, what is happening here?
Also hang on.
Go ahead.
A little bit of spoiler here. A little bit of spoiler here. All right. Garcia Hotspur ended up saving her from the devil, and she is in actuality the devil's prostitute, concubine, harlot. I don't know what the hell what term we'll use.
Lady tonight.
And at the very end of the game, when he gets a call from the devil saying he's going to come back and claim her, she, in a very homicidal atmosphere and tone, puts her hand over his shoulder with her nails had gotten long and sharp and asks, "Who was on the phone, honey?" And
I've got actual goosebumps right now thinking about that. Oh, that is freaky.
And that game has some of the funniest lines in gaming history that I have heard. Like some of my all-time favorite lines from that was, he whenever like you hear it multiple times, and he goes, "If I were called Mexicans, not Mexicans."
Yes, I was drew that reference earlier. That's amazing.
Oh man, just the fact that his name is Garcia Hotspur is the funniest freaking character name I've ever heard in my life. I love it.
It really
so much.
is. And in order to get his weapon to grow to fight the giants, he had to go to it. He uses a demonic payphone system to call a demonic phone sex line, and lets his gun listen to it.
To get it working. Talk about hard as steel.
this whole this game would not be made in today's environment. It would just not.
Oh fuck no!
It's so.
It would be rated AO.
Such a product of.
I think it was rated AO actually. I think it was rated adults only.
Oh my god!
It was mature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'd probably put it as adults only.
I had it back on 360 back in the day, but I think I still got it somewhere. But oh my gosh, I don't know. I love this game. I love the soundtrack to it too. By the way, the soundtrack is amazing.
It really is.
Yeah, I don't know. Scottish, did you play it back in the day or?
Nope, never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay.
I feel like such a fledgling with you guys.
No.
All these games.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm just always going to ask in case you have something to add, or in case I just want to include everybody in the conversation.
No, it's cool. It's such an eye opener. It's like different games that I would never have come across otherwise, and I get to explore all these for the first time.
Yeah,
like a virgin.
Touch for the very first time. Okay. Anyway, Allie, are you recovered enough from the Mel Brooks Patriot to
No, I am not. I don't even know what we're talking about right now. My brain went off on a tangent, and now all I can think about is Mel Brooks and colonial balls.
Well, hang on. Let's look at this. At least Mel Gibson knew how to send those balls downrange.
Wow.
Oh, I love
Even
that.
Mel Brooks would say something about that.
Oh,
need to put that quote in your bio.
Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, Allie, what we're talking about is a game where the main character's name is Garcia Hotspur, so I don't think that's gonna exactly help the situation. Um, but do you have anything that you want to add to this one, or should we move on?
I'm gonna just say no. Just move on.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So anyway, I'm very excited to see the return of Mr. Hotspur. Okay, so Borderlands the movie has released a final trailer. It's looking like a hot mess, everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's looking like a hot mess. But and I think this is the same trailer company that cut the Suicide Squad movie, the first one, So it sure feels like it.
But I will say, right, I did really enjoy the Suicide Squad movie purely because it met like a lot of like catharticism in me.
Yeah.
But the trailer was awful.
I
get
trailer?
a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but
the Borderlands
the trailer for the Suicide Squad.
Oh, for Suicide Squad.
I also didn't enjoy Borderlands either. Like I'm not holding my breath.
I think Jack Black as Claptrap is very, very good casting, but I think the rest of the casting maybe is a little bit off. Yeah, I mean there's some things, like I think if anything, I might enjoy it because it's such a hot mess that I'm gonna be like, okay, it's not that bad. Like
yeah,
I'm actually
it's so
deriving
bad,
some pleasure. Yeah, I mean, like you said, the David Ayer Suicide Squad movie that we did get, the first one, I didn't hate it either. So to be honest, so I mean, if I didn't hate that, I'm probably not gonna hate this as much as many people. But it just is what it is. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those movies where it exists. It's a thing.
I think it's gonna do okay because it's got some famous faces in it, like Kate Blanchett and Kevin Hart, and that.
Yeah. Kate Blanchett looks really great. I love Kate Blanchett.
She looks
can
fantastic.
Do no wrong.
Yes, and Jamie Lee Curtis as well is pretty good as well in the actor world.
She is fantastic.
I'm excited to see what they do, but I'm not holding my breath.
Okay, and I don't mean this as a knock against Ariana Greenblatt because I'm not too familiar with her work necessarily, but I don't know about her as Tiny Tina. That whole portrayal of Tiny Tina in the movie doesn't seem exactly spot on to me. So I don't know about that so much. Apparently the ever reliable Randy Pitchford from Gearbox is saying that they're already looking at a sequel, but who trusts that guy, honestly? Especially after Colonial Marines, who's gonna trust that guy? Rin, do you have any thoughts on the Borderlands movie at all? The final trailer?
I think the only good casting choice they did was for Claptrap.
Agreed. Yeah, that was definitely the best out of all of them.
There were so many better options to play as Roland, Firehawk, and so many, and Mordecai and Brick and all that. There were so many better choices they could have made for those movies. And I honestly feel that this movie is just trying to be a cash grab. I don't think it's going to do very well in theaters. I'm hoping, but I really don't think it's going to do well. I think it's going to hurt every single person who's starring it. It's going to hurt every single one of their careers, and that sucks.
Yeah, it does.
They're like cats.
Yeah, exactly. Allie, do you have any opinion on this, on the Borderlands movie trailer?
Yeah, a few actually. I agree a lot with Rin about the casting. Now, I'm not familiar with the actual game itself. It's one of those that's like been at the top of my list that I want to get to try. Never got around to it, and then I started meeting a lot of TikTok videos portraying Tiny Tina, which I of course fell in love with.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as you said, also what I'm seeing from the trailer, the Tiny Tina character is just not quite matching, and I think they could have done a lot better.
Really not matching.
And with this casting, I've been seeing this. I mean, it's a long history of them doing this, but it's like, whatever actor's hot is what we're going to put in all these lead roles.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't always match up, and it's really annoying to see. It's kind of like they're like, oh, well, everybody loves this actor right now, so let's put him in our movie so they'll come see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Which kind of gets a little bit annoying.
I love Kate Blanchett, and I will say that, out of all the other casting choices that they made, I think she's probably like second to Jack Black in my opinion for this movie anyway. But yeah, I mean it's not looking good, unfortunately. Let's move on. Okay, so Amazon is prepping a new series based on the Yakuza games, now known as the Like a Dragon series in America. So it's called Like a Dragon Yakuza. It has a teaser trailer that just released at Comic-Con. I think it looks really awesome. Of course, they don't show like what the story is going to be and how closely it'll hew to the games or anything like. But in terms of the visual style and in terms of like as a mood piece, this teaser trailer looks really, really good to me. So I'm going to start off with you, Allie. What did you think of the teaser trailer if you watched it?
I don't think I watched the trailer. I think I missed that. I've only just recently become familiar with the Yakuza games due to our friend Crafty Jackalope, who's been playing on her streams.
Yeah, shout out to Crafty.
And there seems to be a lot of creative directions they can go for this that I am at least interested in.
Okay, awesome. Scottish, what about you? Have you seen the teaser trailer for this?
Yes. All I can say is tattoos, sweat, fighting, and abs.
Yeah.
I am here for it, and I am in love with the whole. I don't know what it is. I just love the whole like sort of Japanese theme, the dragon, the scales.
Me too. I'm a sucker for that.
Always loved it. I'm a huge sucker for that shit. Honest to God.
Kind of cyberpunk light sort of look that they're giving the city and everything too. It just looks so cool.
I love it. And then there's occasionally the odd like blossom tree off in the distance somewhere. And I know it's so cliche, but it's such a thing that I love, and I am super excited to see what happens.
Cliche for a reason. Rin, did you see the trailer, and what did you think?
I did see the trailer, and I have not watched Crafty streams, and now that I know that she's playing Yakuza, I'm gonna have to start paying more attention for when she goes live.
Mm-hmm. She's playing Like a Dragon.
I love
playing that one.
Because I'm playing Infinite Wealth on my own off stream whenever I'm not streaming.
Yeah.
And I am currently trying to do the resort mini game to get it to 5 stars before I continue the story, because I just unlocked the resort, and so I'm trying to unlock it. But I love the fact that they did Yakuza Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Originally, it was an April Fool's joke that they were going to make it a turn-based combat. That they were going to make it an RPG. It was they released the demo as an April Fool's joke to fuck with people, and the people loved it. So they decided to keep it.
That's awesome.
And
That's like, really good.
From Yakuza 0 to Yakuza 6. That's all like non-turn-based. But when you get into when it starts becoming Like a Dragon, that's when it goes turn-based, and it is absolutely amazing. The entire series. I still need to get The Man Without a Name, but as far as the Prime series goes, because I kind of got a little off topic there. I know that they're making this storyline to take place before the events of Yakuza 0, which is the very first game in the series. So this is basically how he ends up becoming the badass he was in Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami, or and Yakuza 1 and go on all the way up, which is really awesome, because this is something that I've talked about as well, in voice chat and everything before. The Yakuza games, they did so well creating the world of the game, because of that, every single game that happens, they didn't have to do much for world building, because there's so much options for other stories in the game, and you don't have to, and they didn't have to, like, they probably reworked some of the stores and stuff for example of time going by, stores going out of business and all that, but for the most part, the buildings didn't change places. The story potential of the world that they built is going to be great, and I really hope that the series can portray that.
I hope so too.
But honestly, and I hope that they bring in some of the characters from the other games, even if it's like a little cameo of, for example, Ichiban from the Like a Dragon series.
That would be awesome.
If they see a kid Ichiban running around, pretending to be a dragon warrior coming out of a soap shop or whatever the heck it's called, it would be absolutely hysterical.
It would, honestly.
And I don't want to get my hopes up, but I'm getting my hopes up for the series. because I hope it does really well. I am definitely going to be watching it.
I hope so too.
I'm definitely excited for it.
Yeah, one more little side note about Crafty, our friend Crafty. I did tell her about this, and she got super excited. She was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know about this!" So it was really fun to let her know. Okay, I'm going to just kind of rifle through this the new releases that have come out within the past couple of weeks since we last did our most recent episode. One of which, probably the biggest release, I would say, was the Flintlock The Siege of Dawn, which was released on July 18th. Got kind of average reviews, which sort of surprised me because it looked really good to me. I haven't played it yet, though. A lot of these games I haven't really been playing because I've been stuck doing other things. But yeah, Flintlock apparently is averaging around, it's getting worse reviews from users than it is from critics. On Metacritic, it's averaging around 70 or so. So, kind of a little bit disappointing to see that. Rin, did you get a chance to play it yet, or
not yet? I'm actually going to start playing it tomorrow night.
Okay,
that's one of my first streams.
Oh, cool! All right, nice. I'll pop
tonight,
in and then you can let us know.
Tonight I'm doing Kingdom Hearts. So, but
cool.
I am definitely going to be jumping into that as soon as I can to give it my own verdict. But I am looking forward to it.
Awesome. Okay, I want to get through these kind of quickly because, we got a lot to talk about coming up. So, the next one that I have listed is Nobody Wants to Die, which is a cool-looking cyberpunk, kind of a first-person shooter / mystery. It was released on July 17th. Generally favorable reviews over on Metacritic from the critics and such. So, looking forward to that one. I thought it just looked really cool from the trailer that I saw. Also, on July 11th, we had the release of Angerfoot, which is a first-person, I would call it a kick-em-up as opposed to a shoot-em-up. It just looks wacky and zany and just like something that's so weird that I definitely need to play it. Allie's favorite game, Kunitsugami, released on July 18th as well.
We'll say that.
That is a third-person action tower defense hybrid, and it released to generally favorable reviews as well. Did not get a chance to play it yet, but I definitely will. We also had kind of a speed-running game called the Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. So it's a collection of NES games that basically they I guess they would have used, or maybe they did use back in the day during the NES World Champions. The Nintendo World Championships, I should call them. So like I said, it encourages speedrunning, encourages scoring. Basically, released July 18th. Kind of got average reviews. Nothing super special, so, sadly. Dungeons of Hinterberg, which is a 3D action game released on July 18th, also got good reviews. That is also on Game Pass as well. Kunitsugami is also on Game Pass. Flintlock is on Game Pass. And then finally, EA Sports College Football 25, which is, of course, the sports ball game, American football. Apparently, a lot of people love college football, even though it was like $100 to buy the, I guess, the deluxe edition or whatever. A lot of people bought it, and it made a boatload of money for EA. And so, yeah, college football back again. Okay, so I don't know if anybody has any comments on any of those releases, but just, go ahead and chime in if you do.
I'm good.
Okay, like I said, we're just kind of going through those just to give a sense of what the new releases were. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit here from what I have in my notes, and I'm going to do, first of all, like one of our first featured discussion this week. We kind of have two, but what I want to do is I want to talk about live service games. So in this case, we would be talking about games that have an online component, basically that you cannot play offline. So it would essentially be something like Fortnite, like Destiny 2, Once Human, First Descendant, a couple of newer releases in that genre. Overwatch 2, Marvel Rivals, which is in its beta. We could talk about some of the failures of the genre. Back in the day, there was a game called Battleborn, which was very similar to Borderlands, except it was more of a live service title. So what we're looking at with these titles is a lot of them have maybe, they're like free-to-play games, so you don't have to pay anything up front. However, what you do end up paying for is a lot of like character skins, cosmetic items, Even like it can be something as simple as like a menu screen in some cases. Like it's kind of insane to me to think that people would pay money for that. But like we're talking about battle passes and season passes, things that cost money, or you have to spend like an exorbitant amount of money if you want to really buy everything that's available in the game. It's not like the old days where you could just unlock things. Like if you look at Halo Infinite and you look at how they charge for things as simple as like paint decals for your character, or colors for your character cost money now, as opposed to back in the day with Halo Reach. If you played that game, just by playing it, you unlock things. Now it's a completely different animal. Developers need money, and I understand that. But, I don't mind supporting developers of good games, and I don't mind, like, contributing to that. But when it comes to, like, investors who just want to land whales and stuff like that, whales being the term for people that spend a lot of money on these games and spend a lot of money getting skins and stuff like that, like hundreds of, even up to thousands of dollars just to get whatever they want to get in the game. I think live service games kind of have both positives and negatives, and I think the exorbitant cost is definitely a negative to me. But there are even games that you can play, offline, like even some of the games that I love, like Mortal Kombat 1, for instance, and Tekken 8. There's a battle pass for them, and there's like, a cosmetic season pass. Street Fighter 6 has that. Before, you used to be able to earn these in-game character skins and such things like that, and there's still a way to kind of grind for them, but you have to really grind it out. You got to get in there deep. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of ask everybody on the panel here, like, what do you guys think of live service games? Do you think they hurt the industry? Do you think they're a boon to the industry? Because I know that, we're all kind of Fortnite players here. So what do you think of battle passes and such things in live service games and things like that? Okay, Scottish, you know what? Let's go to you. What do you think of the whole battle pass discussion or like live service discussion? Do you have any opinions on that?
So like ever since like I've been playing like the likes of Fortnite as an example, I've been playing it since its inception, and I had a really big gap when I had my little one and came back to it after a while. And I found it was pretty nice coming back to it and not feeling like I missed out on too much. But I've got a serious case of FOMO, fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of those whales for a long, long, long time. I was spending way too much. It was my treat money. Like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't go out on holidays and stuff. So that was my treat money that I was using for that. And I realized how much I was spending on these digital items. And it just made me think a lot of like, what are these like digital art things that are selling for loads and Bitcoins and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
It's just remnant of that now. And I think because of the whole Bitcoin thing and the Bitcoin scams and whatever other scams, the NFTs, that's what they are.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like it's put like a bad taste with regard to like these game passes and microtransactions. And they are like, I've had some training with them for gambling, for helping gambling addicts. And one of the highest prevalences, apart from the obvious like alcohol and whatever else, is game addiction with regards to spending their money.
Yeah.
And it's just massive. And with myself, with having personal experience with, you've got that fear of missing out, and they're so good at marketing it in a way that you have to get it. It's the latest thing. It's the latest trend. I'm not a trend person. I don't like being in that. Like I said earlier with my PDA. But with this, because it was a game that I enjoyed so much and I loved it so consistently, I was happy to pay the money. I think I would prefer to pay the price outright, as much as like a game can be like, what, £50 nowadays, and I think it's like $60 for you lot, depending on where you are and what game it is.
60 to 70 now.
Yeah, like the average here is like £50, 60, 70 if you're unlucky. And do you know that, like, for somebody like me who's quite, frugal, seemingly, ironically, that's quite a lot of money to pay on the outset. So like getting a free game at point of access is great. But then you're paying all these microtransactions to be able to keep up with your friends, or if you see a skin that you like, you're just like, oh yeah, like you have to get it, like you have to pay these extra V-Bucks. And with the V-Bucks, like they do it in a way that you have to pay so much to get a certain amount to get your Game Pass.
Yeah, that's the thing with in-game currency is that you end up paying for
Yeah.
more than you actually need. So a lot of
Yeah,
the
and then
time.
it's just sitting there doing nothing, and you're like, oh, there's a pickaxe that I can get, but I've only got 200 V-Bucks, but it costs 300. I might as well get the extra 100 V-Bucks, you know, and then it just goes on and on and on. And I do like that, you know, in some of the Game Pass stuff, you can unlock V-Bucks, but they seem to have almost stripped that away now, where you have to pay for the V-Bucks in order to get the next Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas myself and a lot of my friends, like I don't know about you guys, but we were like proper grinding the Game Pass in the first couple of weeks when it would come out, unlock all of the levels and all of the skins, the V-Bucks, the backgrounds, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would sit there ready for the next Game Pass, and we would just have fun for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But on a lot of these games, I'm noticing they're taking that out, and it's just like, oh well, you have to pay now, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, just give us like a lifetime cost, like 50 quid, 40, 50 quid, and then that's it, it's done, you know?
And sometimes they'll give you the option to spend some of your points and to use it to get like a random loot box of
Yeah.
stuff. And then when you end up
Yep.
doing it, it's just like it's the crappiest items, you know? It's not even something
Yep.
that's worth it. So yeah.
That's it. I do feel like I'm fully with you with the developers getting their money, but with companies like Epic Games and whatever else, they don't need it. They should be paying their developers and their creators regardless of what their profits are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge thing here. Like I know it's a huge thing with you guys with the fair wage and things, but it's a massive thing here in the UK at the moment is the living wage.
Yeah.
And things like that, you need to be paid your dues regardless of what the company is making. It's not up to them to be able to determine what your worth is.
The problem is that we're dealing with investor greed, which is, you know, a whole nother
massively.
Yeah, it's a whole nother can of worms, you know. It's just something
when
that
the big fish come in. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, they just want more and more money. It's never enough. And frankly, it sickens me on many, many levels.
I know, it's when they go on about, oh, we've dropped 10% in our profits since last year, and it's like, mate, that's a pebble in an ocean for you guys. Like that's nothing. Like it's just ridiculous.
And I mean, I'm going to talk about this later, but also there's the graveyard of games that have failed in this regard as well. Like you got games like the one that I mentioned, Battleborn. You got Babylon's Fall from Platinum Games, which, you know, they took a single player developer and turned them into this, you know, they tried to turn them into a factory for this, you know, this MMO / live service game, which did not go anywhere. Closed down.
Yeah.
Very soon after release. You had Marvel's Avengers, which came from Crystal Dynamics. You had the Gotham Knights game had some live service elements to it. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is the most recent example of one that just did not work out. Again, you're taking a single player, you know, focused studio like Rocksteady, and you're turning them into a live service game farm, and that's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. You should let the developer focus on what they're good at. You know, take guys like Bungie who work on Destiny 2 and stuff, and have them just kind of, you know, keep going with their game, or you know, like they got Marathon coming up as well, whenever that comes out. But yeah, Ryn, I want to go to you as well and talk to you about this. What do you think about live service games? Do you think they're you know, like a sore spot on the industry? Do you think that they're good to have, or do you think there's room for coexistence between that and single player and MMOs, regular MMOs? What do you think?
It's a tough one, in all honesty. It really kind of falls down to what each person prefers when it comes to games. Like games like Fortnite and, you know, Battleborn and other games like of that same genre and variety, like Overwatch and all them. They fit a niche of players who want to do X, Y, and Z, and the game gives them X, Y, and Z. And then at the same time, while they're doing X, Y, and Z, the developers are like, oh, hey, while you're doing this, check this out. And that is like the only way I can explain it well, and it's a little bit funny, is that scene in Family Guy, piece of candy, piece of candy, piece of candy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what these live service games are doing. And while I do agree that they are performing a service because they're getting toxic people out of other games. True. They are also detrimental to gaming as a whole. Now, I agree with Scottish on the whole concept of charging one fixed price. Like, for example, Star Trek Online, they used to before the company that created them sold them to someone else. They used to have a thing where you could spend $500, I think, 500-600 bucks. I can't remember the exact amount, and you would have like it's basically the equivalent of being of paying for a lifetime membership for the game, and it would come with like every month you get free in-game like the paid currency every month. Like you would know you wouldn't be restricted based off of what you were based off of your membership status at all. None of that, and the fact that they did that, and then whoever they did it, whenever they did it, it kind of fell short and ended up getting bought out by somebody else. They took that away almost immediately because they saw that as, oh, we're going to lose money. We're just going to do the whole membership bullshit. You know, look at and then there's so we're talking about failed live service games. Look at Anthem. What happened with that game?
Yeah.
I mean, but then at the same time, though, playing devil's advocate here, No Man's Sky is a live service game.
Yes,
it is absolutely. When it launched, it was absolutely atrocious.
Oh yeah,
and I bought
absolutely
it. I was excited for it, but it is also a very good comeback story of how they should be doing stuff like that. You know, but I mean, and so much as like what they're doing with the microtransactions in these games is they're bleeding their gamers dry.
Yeah,
to the point where the gamers can't afford to buy any other games and are forced to keep playing those games.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why I quit Fortnite, because number one, it was getting it was getting way too toxic for me, and I just couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
Number two, every single almost like clockwork, just like Scottish said, come check this out or it's going to go away, and I absolutely my brain was like, I had to have this, I had to get this. You know what I mean? And that's another reason, and that's also one of the reasons why I don't play Call of Duty, because that's technically a live service game for their Warzone capabilities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
basically become
it's got the same. Yeah, it's got the same concept of, oh, check out these skins. I bought Ash and I bought Tyrael. I was able to play the zombies for a little bit, but due to personal reasons, I can't continue to play Call of Duty games.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you know why. And Scottish, if you want to know later, if you want to know, I'll tell you later. But but see, with live service games, their whole purpose, in order for them to make money, is to keep you interested. And the only way they can do that without changing gameplay value and gameplay mechanics is skins and and like cosmetics in the game. Loading screen, whether it's loading screens, weapon skins, whatever it is. And that's one of the reasons why. I mean, that's why Epic dropped, because when people stopped getting interested in Fortnite, Epic started panicking, and then they dropped the racing, they dropped the Lego mode, and they dropped the Rock Band mode.
And it's all because they basically own the rights to those types of game modes, and they own like the companies that actually have made them in the past. Like Harmonix works on the music part of it,
Exactly.
And you have like I'm forgetting the name of the studio that does the racing, but
Rocket League,
Psyonix, I think Psyonix. But
but see, the bottom line is they saw people leaving Fortnite for games like Rocket League and other kind of stuff, and they're like, oh well, we could do that too here, and just like vomited up a mess of other options that people looked at it and saw, oh, it's the Vegas buffet of options, and it really wasn't, because now they're charging you for Lego kits for the Lego game. They're charging you for songs to play on the song section. They are charging you for car skins for the racing. On top of that, they're also charging you for Rocket League skins on Rocket League. So while they're not technically double dipping, they kind of are, because they're two car games, same skins and everything else in regards to that. And from a business standpoint, it gets you money, it gets you profits, it gets you revenue, it lets you continue to pay your workers, it lets you do this. But as a gamer, looking at the big picture, it's a cash grab, and that's all these live service games like Fortnite, and stuff like that are. Fortnite, Apex, all of them. Now then you've got MMOs like in comparison here, just to further cement my point. You've got Final Fantasy 14. Okay, you've got World of Warcraft. You've got Elder Scrolls Online. You've got all those MMOs, for example. They do not pay for Elder Scrolls, but WoW and 14 They do not hide any of their story content behind a paywall. You do not have to pay for anything in order to play. Well, 14, and well, of course, you have to pay the subscription and you have to buy the expansion packs and everything. But like what Scott was saying, it's a one-time payment. You buy it, and you don't have to pay for anything else to play the story and to enjoy all of the content that expansion has. Because basically, with these MMOs, these expansions are the MMO's version of the Battle Pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get, because not only do you get new crafting recipes for whatever profession you're running, you get more story content, which is better than Fortnite. Because Fortnite doesn't really have much. The only thing Fortnite has story-wise is Save the World, and they've given up on that, which is depressing because it had a lot of potential. But I mean, and even the optional things that you can purchase on their online store, you don't see any of that in the game with them trying to advertise it to you like Fortnite does with their shop. You actually have to go if you have to actually go looking for this stuff if you're in that because you like the game that much. And I will admit, I've bought stuff for the things. For, in 14, you can buy story boosters that pushes you past a certain expansion of the game. You can buy level boosters that boost you to the 10 levels below the current max level, so that you can do the current expansion without having to replay any of the other stuff. And honestly, right now, that's a good thing to do, because if you do get into 14, the new expansion that just dropped, it got a 7 out of 10 on IGN and everything. But what people don't understand, and the gamers don't understand, is it's the beginning of a new story. The original game and the 3 expansions that came, and then Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker, all 4 of those expansions and A Realm Reborn all encompassed one big story. And they closed it off brilliantly. And then Dawntrail came out, and that people were like, "Oh, it's not as good as Endwalker." Well, of course it's not. It's a brand new. It's the beginning of a brand new story. They've got to get your attention on the game, and that's where live service games fall flat, because they can only offer one thing, or in Fortnite's case, 4 things. And there's very little that you can do outside of that, and people are eventually going to get tired of it, and so on and so forth. So they have to consistently scramble with the microtransactions and everything else, and the battle passes and all that. I mean, even Dead by Daylight's a live service game.
True.
Each time
it is.
Each time it drops a new chapter. But see, the difference between Dead by Daylight and Fortnite is Dead by Daylight doesn't do what Fortnite does either. They don't throw in your face on the opening screen, "Hey, come check out our shop." I mean, they're starting to now, but originally they didn't. They would just say, "Here's the thing. Pick your, play Survivor, play Killer, go have fun. There's a shop button down here. Oh, what's that?" You know what I mean? And then, cosmetics. And then eventually they started doing the battle pass and, and so on and so forth.
As these live service games find success, it seems like they just push their cash shop in front of you even more, more and more. And it's unfortunate.
The one thing I'd like to address about this kind of thing as well is I see it quite a lot in the gaming world, where people are like, "Oh, well, you're a grown adult, like you can decide not to get these things." These people are clearly either like asshole neurodivergents or just neurotypicals, because they don't seem to understand that many of us with these sparkly brains have impulse issues.
I mean,
so it's like this is sparkly new skin.
In regards to that, Scottish, I would have to disagree. I think they're very much aware that we have impulse issues and our I can't think of the phrase, are playing on that to get us to stay interested.
Oh yeah, the companies are.
That's the thing. There's a massive. I can't remember. I'll have to find the blog articles for you, because it's really interesting about mobile games, especially were being investigated on Android for using neuro something. There's a science behind it around like pulling people in and keeping them engaged and things. And there's the whole thing about making the games super, super easy to start with for the first 10 levels, and then it would get harder and harder and harder to the point where it now goes, "Oh, you haven't managed to do this level yet. How about you buy some extra boosts, or how about you buy some extra lives?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
you have to spend money in order to progress, otherwise. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mobile games are where it started.
Oh, mass, yeah, it's huge. It's a huge breeding ground for shit like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to like the mentality of it, it's like, yes, again, we are fully grown adults, and it's other gamers saying this to gamers.
I know.
It's like, have you never felt an impulsive decision and then immediately regretted it, but you can't get a refund?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just continuous. But yeah, it's a whole mind game that they do. And like you were saying earlier about the costumes, it's a cheap trick. It's what they can do to save money but also draw people in, and it unfortunately it works really well.
Yeah, because, you know, I am, the funny thing about it is, like, you look at a game like Fortnite and stuff like that, and I mean, I have a lot of costumes that I bought in that game. I have a lot of character skins that I bought in that game. And if you think about it, the character skins make no sense. Like, okay, at one point they had Ryu and Chun-Li from Street Fighter in this game, okay? Ryu and Chun-Li running around with no voice callouts, with nothing else going on. They're shooting guns. Characters from Street Fighter running around shooting guns and shooting automatic weapons. Master Chief from Halo. Yeah, Master Chief from Halo running around shooting like these normal like Fortnite guns and stuff instead of bringing out his actual weapons.
You won't see Kratos wielding a gun. You won't see the Ninja Turtles shooting a gun.
Yeah.
You won't see, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you're gonna put a skin on a game like that, you need to make it reasonable, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's not that anymore. It's a marketing, campaign basically. It's a marketing ploy. That's all that it is. It's a marketing engine.
Yep.
And I mean, I know this, and I still play the game, so it's like, so I'm part of the problem. But but I mean, like, the thing about it is that like Fortnite, as much as I dislike it at times, is a competent game. Destiny is a competent game, as much as I get bored with it and as much as I haven't played it in a while, because I'm not going to pay $100 for your final shape, okay? I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
And like, if you look at Once Human and stuff, okay, that one, I bought the Battle Pass for, and was kind of not worth it because, it was like 60 levels and not really, my opinion, not really worth it. But anyway, Once Human is at least a decent game, and there's a lot of content for you to go around and play around with, even though it's buggy as hell right now. First Descendant, another game. Skins are very expensive in that game, and that game for me, the low-level stuff, first of all, it's too easy to get through. And it gets really, really boring because all you're fighting is cannon fodder enemies. At least in Destiny, when you're walking around the map, there are enemies stationed around there. You can have some fun in between the different activities that you do. First Descendant, it just feels barren. So to me, I have a lot of issues with that game, and unfortunately, I've kind of stopped playing it, even though I really like the character designs and everything. The grind is way too much too, and you gotta wait 16 hours just to get a new Descendant. It sucks. Oof. I don't like it. Overwatch 2 is just way too toxic for me. I don't care. Marvel Rivals too close to Overwatch. So, yeah. Okay.
Straight to the point.
You've all danced around something that needs to just be said out loud.
Go ahead.
It is 2024. Make your stupid games work. You are pulling in all this money. Make your games work.
I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you.
It's microtransaction after microtransaction after microtransaction, and none of it is going in to make your games work. We have been online gaming for how long, and we still have stupid lag issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, online gaming's been around forever. Internet speeds were nothing back in the day, but we still didn't have it still seems like we're having all the exact same problems with so much more internet speed available to us.
Yes.
And it's stupid.
Yes. No, I think you bring up a really good point there. Yeah, continue on, Allie. I want to hear your opinions on this because I know we didn't get to you because of issues, but please continue.
Well, I mean, that was just pretty much my whole point. But, I'm trying to even think of what some of the first online games were. Biggest one I know was the biggest thing that everybody talks about playing online is Halo 2. I don't remember Halo 2 having any of the same issues.
Yeah, I don't remember
playing this online that we're having today in Fortnite.
Yeah.
That Fortnite's not even a new game. It's not even like, hey, we just came out and we don't know what we're doing. It's been around for how long now? And we're still having problems just trying to kill each other in this game. Yeah. Which, we're having problems shooting through walls, people shooting things that are not even aimed at you. Like, we didn't have these problems back in the day, but we are now. Like, what is going on? Why are we having these issues now? You're pulling in all this money. Fix your game.
Problems loading into the map, even. Like I
Yeah.
numerous times have that problem where it just won't load me in. And I thought it
Right.
was a
And then
me
we
issue.
put
Apparently it's
behind.
not a me issue. It's
Yeah, they
everybody.
have all these kind of outages. They don't even announce these outages. You got to like, search online of all these other people having problems. Like, oh, well, this must be a huge thing that's actually going on, and it's not me. But the game just like, nah, it obviously has to be you. Did you clear your browser cache? That's always a solution for them that suggest. I was like, oh, no, problem is just your browser cache. Just clear that out and send us more money. You'll be fine.
Right.
Yep.
And for all these microtransactions, it just irritates the crap out of me. Like loading up a game, having, maybe just a default skin to play with. If I can't make a character that has no bearing on the game of just simply cosmetics, if I can't choose a character the way I want it to look, what's the point in playing the game? If I have to work for X amount of hours just to unlock something that I want just for a visual aspect, is super annoying. Nobody wants to do that. Like a tangent argument was the whole shit that Super Smash Brothers keeps doing, where you have to play the game for like 40 hours just to unlock all the characters to be able to play like in a party game, which by the time you've done that, you become so much better than all your friends who haven't played yet that you're inviting over to play with, that it just seems unfair to play against them anymore.
Yeah.
Like if I'm buying a game, just let me have all the options and figure out some other way. Like, sure, have like really extra special skins, but don't just give me like the basic stuff, which is what's kind of irritating me about First Descendant.
Agreed. I was just gonna
say, there's so few options at the beginning. All the options we all know everybody wants, you have to grind to go get or spend a bunch of money.
You can't change the hairdo of the character without paying. You can't change the color of their armor or their suit without paying. That drives me bonkers. At least in Once Human, you have a very robust character creator at the opening of the game, Can't change the
which should be just a default option for all games now.
Yeah.
Like, we're putting ourselves in these games. Why can't we have all these, options for character creation? Why are we just doing select skins anymore and paying a bunch for things that may be just slightly different? Give us all games that are just...
I feel like we're at a stage now where in game development, like I'm talking from a very basic knowledge of coding and things like that, as well as design, because I do like the character design side of things as a hobby. But like a very basic knowledge for me, it's like we're so far into the world of these digital games and things and the quality and stuff. Why can't they just have it where like a lot of the times it is a copy and paste? Like getting the rights to a certain game design or how they've got their costumes or how they've got their layout of their character choosing, when you're choosing all the characteristics and things. It is not difficult to have that copy and paste effect where, it can be done. You don't need to be spending this extra, and it doesn't cost them all that much extra. It's not like they're having to do everything from scratch. There is stuff out there nowadays where they can use that as a template or something like that.
Yep, entirely correct. I mean, it's getting to the point where once these live service games fail, you're getting to the point where like Marvel's Avengers at the very end of its lifespan, it went for sale for $5. You know what I mean? You look at Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, that was given away on Prime Day for free. So obviously they don't care. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to put any more money into this. The companies aren't. And it's just getting to the point where I feel like, even though I feel like there's certain live service games that are quite well done, that I do want to support. Like I've had a lot of fun playing Once Human, and I do want to support it. It's just buggy as shit sometimes, and like they really got to fix some of their stuff that they have going on. And I wonder, even though I think that there's room for single player games and multiplayer focused games, live service games, MMOs to coexist, but I hate the fact that now everything has to be a battle royale. Everything has to be, a live service game, or it's just not worth even publishing anymore. Or everything has to be an open world game, or everything has to be a Souls-like, or everything has to be one thing or another. And it's like, where's the variety anymore? Everything is so homogenous now, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. That was one thing that actually, my partner, he is a massive like god awful like Red Dead Redemption 2 fan, right?
Yes.
When they did this whole like online thing, that totally threw him off. That was it. He was done with the game. He has gone back to it since, because we played together and we made it work. But he is such like a story mode fan. He loves the depth that gets put into these games. He loves the thought that gets put into them. The scripts, things like that you guys were talking about earlier. And it actually like got me with how upset he was. And of course it's down to developers' choices, it's the company's choices. But it's just one of these things where it's like it's such a loved game, and then it gets put into an online world where it can become so toxic. And it can completely ruin a game, whereas just having that offline ability just makes it so much nicer, you know?
Yeah. And like Rin, what you were talking about with expansions and stuff like that, like I prefer that largely enough. I prefer the expansion model where you just pay up front for everything that's in the expansion, and then just play the game and have fun with the game. That would be something that I would prefer definitely in most situations, but unfortunately they're moving away from that model. And like I said, it's the greedy investors. They want their money. They want more money than God. They just want to keep on accruing revenue. And it's like, it's to the point where I understand supporting the developers. I understand that completely. There are a lot of developers that I want to support, and there are a lot of games that I want to support. However, when you're doing it to the point where it's impacting people's livelihoods and people's ability to even enjoy the games on a basic level, like Allie was saying, I feel like you're doing a disservice to the industry and a disservice to your consumer base. And it just doesn't surprise me anymore, unfortunately, that like a lot of these companies are just being complete scumbags when it comes to this. And, like I said, I always say this on this podcast, big companies in particular, they're not your friends. They're not looking out for you. They are not looking out for the consumer. They are looking out for money and the bottom line, and that's all they care about. That's all the investors care about. That's all the people in the boardrooms care about. That's all the bean counters care about. They just want more and more of your money. And ultimately, I don't know what we have to do in order to stop this or to get it to reset. But, maybe there needs to be a video game crash. That's, again, the strike is happening. Maybe there needs to be something that happens that's drastic like this, because even though I'm a big fan of games and I love games and I don't want them to go away, but I think that ultimately something's got to give. And, we're already giving them enough of our money. So,
well, and the thing is, like, lately, the more popular games that are selling like on Steam and on PlayStation aren't even AAA title games. They're the indie games made by small people.
Yeah.
Lethal Company, prime example.
Lethal Company.
You know what I mean?
Good example of that. Yep.
And that guy wasn't expecting to make more than a couple $100, and he
God,
almost crapped himself when he made bank with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. Good on him too.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, let's check out what the fuck happened here. You know what I mean?
In a time when we're seeing like Microsoft and stuff, when we see the closure of studios, like studios that were putting forth good work, like Hi-Fi Rush and everything, and like making decent games, and they're getting closed down, they're getting shuttered for no fucking reason. It's like, come on, you guys are making more than enough money. Your investors are getting all the money. Your fucking CEO's getting all the money. Your fucking bosses are getting all the money. Like, just man, it makes me so upset. I get really upset about this whole thing.
You know what grinds my gears?
Seriously, though, it's like...
Honestly, I get it.
The rich get richer, the poor get screwed, and that's all that we have to look forward to in this late-stage capitalist bullshit country of ours, unfortunately. And I hope that eventually we're able to affect change in some regard. Anyway, any final thoughts on this topic? Anybody? Allie?
Really, just if any change is going to happen, we're somehow going to have to affect their bottom line, which is going to be really managing to control those impulse purchases, which I don't know if any of us have the control to do that, because I know I certainly don't.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, I was just watching, I was watching again, friend of ours, Serena, play Fortnite last night, and the immediate thing that pops up is the Deadpool and Wolverine skin, and I was just like, I kind of want it.
I know. Tell me about it.
Oh,
have you seen the controllers
so
with the big
bad.
butts?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I want it, but I'm not going to get it.
Yeah, me too.
No,
Me
I think
too.
it's just a prize thing. I think it's like a single
It
release.
is, and that person's gonna flip it on eBay and make hundreds and hundreds of dollars off of it, and it's like it's
Yeah.
ridiculous because it's just a magnetic like attachment to the controller, really. So like, maybe
Yeah.
somebody could just 3D print that shit, and I don't
Oh,
know.
amazing. I would actually pay for that shit. With like a small
Oh, my
indie creator,
God.
I would totally pay for that.
Anyway, okay, so see, the reason why I flipped this around was because I knew that this was going to be a more negative discussion in terms of gaming, and so I want to flip it around now to a more positive discussion, at least for me, from my perspective. So second feature of the episode, feature story of the episode, I guess you could call it, is the fact that last weekend, exactly 1 week prior to today, we had the big fighting game tournament, an open fighting game tournament that was held in Las Vegas. It's called EVO, Evolution 2024. And I wanted to do like a quick recap on that because I wanted to just talk about how like EVO for me is such a special event. It started really last year when I was watching it. And how you watch it is, they have Twitch streams and they, there's a creator on Twitch. I'm going to shout him out. I'm going to name drop him right now. His name is Maximilian Dude, who I follow pretty religiously. And he basically covers a lot of fighting game news, and he covers EVO like in depth. Like if he's not there at the show, he will do like a live stream of the show itself. He will co-stream it. He will just comment on it and stuff like that. And he and his friends were all there this year. And it was something really special. So what EVO is, for those who do not know, it's an open fighting game tournament, which means anybody from all over the world, they can come in, they can enter, and they can try to compete with all the various fighting games. They usually have a lineup of about 5 or 6 games that they will have on like the main show floor and the main event stages. They basically, they have like an arena where they have like the big stage, and you have panels with like the developers of the games, and you have the players competing in the tournament on those big stages. It's a really cool thing. It's fun to see. I guess it would be under the category of esports, but I feel like it's been around for a very long time. This goes back to like the arcade era. Like I said, it goes back to just people just hanging out in arcades and having tournaments in like Chinatown Fair in New York and stuff like that. It's really become something. Evolution, EVO in and of itself has evolved over the years. It has become like now almost like a fighting game convention on top of it being a tournament. And I just love that because you get news that you wouldn't get anywhere else. And with the demise of E3, we could use way more video game news opportunities and conventions and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that. They got Artist Alley over there. They have like booths set up by the companies, Capcom, SNK, Arc System Works, you name it, they're all there. And I just wanted to say that, like, watching the matches in particular, like not just seeing like the panels and stuff like that, but also seeing like the matches themselves. What's really inspiring to me as someone who struggles at times with being like super competitive and who doesn't take losing all too well. I can throw a tantrum on stream, as people who've viewed Red streams know. I find it very inspiring that like you have competitors that have come from like Pakistan and like England and like everywhere in the world to come and compete here. And it's nice to see like the diversity of like all of these people that are coming in, and they don't care about any of the differences. All they care about is the fact that, hey, we love this game, we're competing against each other, but that doesn't mean that we can't hug each other afterwards, we can't shake hands afterwards, we can't be good sports about it. It's a face-to-face tournament, so you don't have that online thing of like, I'm gonna hide behind my screen name or whatever and just be a jackass, like that's the thing that I also love about it. I love the fact that more women and non-binary people and people of color and just so many diverse people are getting into fighting games and enjoying it for what it is. People who are neurodivergent, people who are not, enjoy this genre that has been around for so many years, for like over 30 years. And I just like the final match of the tournament was a Street Fighter 6. It was the grand finals. and it was between a couple of players, one by the name of Punk the God, and the other guy was named Big Bird. That was his username, you know. And it was down to the wire, and Punk is known as, if not the greatest Street Fighter player in the world, you know, like he's definitely up there. And it was tough, but Punk won. And it was one of those games where it just came down to the wire. You know, it was the final match. It was the final round. He won. He had just a sliver of life left, and he won. And the outpouring of emotion in that moment was so cool to see. You just see Punk with his head in his hands, and he's just like, you know, he's like crying about it. And like, you know, the first thing that he did was he shook hands with his competitor, and they both hugged and everything. And the, you know, Big Bird, the competitor, was also there, and he was like just obviously, you know, kind of, oh my God, I got second place, you know what I mean? But just in that moment, he reaches over and touches Punk's shoulder and just pats him on the shoulder, and it's just like, you know, it's gonna be okay, man. You know, and I just find that like so human. And I don't know, for me, it was just something where I just felt like it's kind of uplifting to see it. So
it's called being a good sport. And
yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like so much toxicity in the world, you know. It was nice to see that. And I love the fact that it's from a genre that is very close to my heart as well. And it's something that I know not everybody loves fighting games, and I know that, and I know I'm going on and on. But, you know, essentially why it's important to me is because it's the art style and the character designs and everything that like the developers put into it. Every movement that a character does in a fighting game, if it's a well-done fighting game, that is, it reflects who that character is. And that's something that I love, the singular focus in the game, in the genre of that. You know, this is like, I'm a big character guy to begin with. Like when I'm looking at stories and stuff like that, I enjoy the characters, you know, sometimes even more than the narrative. So to me, it's like, you know, when you're animating this character so super well and so smoothly and vibrantly, everything about them matters. Every single movement matters. Every single moment matters. And I think that, to me, that's what I love about the fighting game genre. So I want to go around now, because I'm talking so much. I want to go around to you guys and just ask you, like, Allie, I know you're not the biggest fighting game fan, but I want to ask you, is there anything that I said that kind of resonated with you here in terms of like the genre itself, or is there anything that you want to add to that?
Nothing that really resonates me, because I just really don't like the genre at all. Okay. I mean, I've told you this over and over and over again, but
no, I know. I want to hear it from you. I don't mind.
I know. It's just that, you know, I've played fighting games a lot. You know, it's not like I'm avoid it at all costs. I played a lot of. I think I owned, what was it, Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the N64. My friends, of course, always loved playing Mortal Kombat on the Segas.
Of course.
I think I played quite a bit of Street Fighter. And I think, what was the other one I played? Bushido Blade, which I think out of the whole series, I think is the one I liked it the most out of any of them.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
But as much time as I've put into this, you know, trying to learn the games and stuff, I could just never get anywhere with it. And, you know, if you're good at fighting games, I hate to inform you, but I think you're autistic, because I don't think you can be neurotypical and be good at these fighting games at the same time.
I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily a problem, though. I don't think that's necessarily bad. But no, I mean, I get what you're saying.
The thing with the whole character design, though, something that's driving me nuts, especially with the early video games, it's always been, can we make these guys look as badass as possible, and then all the girls just need to be sexy?
Yeah.
Like, as you've mentioned, you know, you've enjoyed some of the characters. My first thought is like, well, yeah, I think we've all enjoyed Chun-Li dancing around on our screens.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are multiple levels of enjoyment.
I'm glad to see, you know, as fighting games evolve, that's become a little less common, but it is still the overall theme of, you know, these badass, powerful guys and then sexy, slim, small girls.
Yeah, no, I get you on that. I think that there should be more diversity in terms of the character designs themselves, for sure. Yeah.
I'm glad they did that for 6, because now while they did have a lot of similar, you know, sexy women in the game, but Marissa, Muscle Mommy,
Marissa.
I mean, that's prime example right there.
No, I totally agree with you, Ali. I think that what you're saying is absolutely correct, and I think you bring up an excellent point. I'm not saying the genre is perfect. Of course, I'm not saying that. I think that there's a lot of room for improvement in terms of even in the fighting game community, in the FGC itself. There's a lot of room for improvement, obviously. Nobody's perfect. It's all a human institution. It's all made by humans, and especially back in the early days in the 90s and stuff, everything was like that. Everything was the ideal, the unattainable ideal of like whatever the fuck. But to me, I think that like as it has evolved in the time since, I do feel like they've done a better job of diversifying, and I do feel like you have nerdy characters now. You have people that are, I don't mean that as a pejorative, by the way. I'm a nerdy guy. But like, you have more different types of beauty, let's say, because I believe that there's all kinds of beauty in the world. I don't believe that anything is, necessarily ugly unless you're a prick. But like, yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. Scottish, what are your thoughts on this? Anything that you have to say on this one?
There's a few points that everyone brings up that I feel like I can kind of resonate with. So like we don't have a massive arcade culture in our country. It's not a big thing. Like I never grew up with like local arcades that you could actually physically go to. It's more like the local like bowling alley that you guys call would have maybe a couple of like slot machines or whatever. And that was about it. But with regards to like the whole like Street Fighter thing, that was huge when I was growing up, and I never really played them as much. I was more of a press and pray kind of person. Like I would just mash buttons and just hope I got a hit in there somewhere, So like playing that kind of thing, I agree with Ali there. I wasn't the greatest at it. But like I would say like I'm going in with the whole like self-diagnosed autism thing, where I do believe I am autistic, but I am awful at these fighting games where it's like the 2D like trying to mash the right combination. I just can't do it. But I was pretty cracked at Fortnite. Like I got all the combinations for the building and the shooting and the whatever else. I had the combination or the hand-eye coordination for that, but just not for these fighting games. I did, however, enjoy the graphics. So like I could watch other people playing it. So I loved the color, I loved the design, the costumes. There's some like really brutal scenes that I used to really enjoy. But then I also agree with the whole like the problematic side of things, where like as a person who was assigned female at birth, who is now non-binary, I'm also a very much plus-sized person. I can see from Ali's perspective that there's not the same representation where, of course, yes, you've got the big muscular mummies, and I am here for that till the end of time. But I'm a flabby mommy. I'm not a muscly mommy. So it'd be really nice to see some bigger women who aren't necessarily like roid droids,
Well, maybe
but again, there's time for change. There's time for improvement.
Maybe one of the solutions to that is having something like what Street Fighter 6 does, where you have like a create a character mode where people can just create your own character and make them whatever you want them to look like.
So much fun. Yes, I'm always, anytime there's a character creation in a game, I make her the biggest, with the biggest ass, with the biggest tits, with the biggest belly. Like I make her a pumpkin. Like that's how I see myself. And I've got really bad body dysmorphia, and I'm managing that. But that's how I see myself, as this big blueberry. But a sexy blueberry.
There you go. Like I said.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, I see the love for it though. There's a whole camaraderie about it.
Yeah, see, like I completely agree with what Ali and with what you said, Scottish. I do think there needs to be far more diversity in terms of how the characters look and stuff like that. Like I will never, even as someone who also is, was assigned a certain sex at birth, which is male. I also look at like the male ideal. Like I'll never be Ryu, I'll never be Guile. I'll never be Ken. I'll never be Terry Bogard. You know what I mean? I will never be any of these characters. And part of me, and especially when I was younger, I wish that I was that. But in essence, I've come to accept the fact that I'm never going to be that, and that's fine. It just, to me, the thing that kind of overrides all of that is just my love of the aesthetic of the genre and the gameplay and everything like that. And I say that being someone who is awful at these games, okay? I am no good at all. If I were to go to EVO, there would be a gust of wind that would throw me out of the arena before I could even compete. Like, that would be like the message to everybody. It'd be like, well, he signed up and now he's gone because apparently God does not want him there. Anyway, I just think that like
God.
yeah, and I don't mean Punk the God. Maybe it was him. Anyway, huge gust of wind. Anyhow, I think that like you know, it's just a genre that I just love so much, and it's something that I think brings a lot of positivity to the game industry and stuff like that. Okay, let's talk about news from the event, because there was news. And I'm sorry, Allie, that you have to sit through this, but I'll try to get through it really quickly. More evidence that Capcom and SNK are working together. There was a shadow drop, a shadow release of SVC Chaos SNK versus Capcom, which is an old game from like the early 2000s. Basically, it was shadow dropped onto Steam during the event, which is awesome. It's only $20. It's one of those games where like it was a crossover game between SNK and Capcom, obviously. And it was a game that never really got a fair shake because compared to the Capcom versions of the crossover, it kind of wasn't as good, or it didn't really have as much, fan enthusiasm as those did, as Capcom versus SNK did, CVS 1 and 2. So it's worth a second look, I think, and it's nice that it's getting another lease on life. So SVC Chaos, definitely check that out if you guys are interested. It's only $20, like I said. Guilty Gear Strive's new Season Pass 4 DLC, which includes a new character named Unica and the returning Dizzy and Venom. Guilty Gear Strive is one of those, it's a little bit more like new player friendly. Their character designs are wild and crazy, and I love them. Metal soundtrack, you got everything going for that game, in my opinion. I love Guilty Gear. It's by Arc System Works, by the way. They also announced that Cyberpunk Edge Runner's Lucy is going to be one of the characters coming on the pass as well to the game, which I am super excited about. If anybody knows Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runner, she basically uses like a monowire whip sort of weapon. It's perfect for Guilty Gear, especially for Strive. So I think that's going to be super cool. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, which is a game that I'm very much looking forward to. It's an SNK game. The art style in this is incredible. It's got that whole like cel-shaded 3D kind of look. They announced a new character at EVO named Kevin Ryan, who is going to be in the game. Also, he's like an older character from the old Garo Mark of the Wolves franchise, which is the same thing as Fatal Fury, basically. Also, Billy Kane is another character. It's a long-running character in King of Fighters and also in Fatal Fury, so it's cool to see him in the game. It looks awesome, by the way. The character art is amazing for that. There is a League of Legends-inspired fighting game coming out called 2XKO, which is also formerly known as Project L. That is a tag-based fighting game, so a lot like the Versus series where you can tag in characters at different moments during the game. You can also have 4 players playing, so 2v2, which is really neat. Nice. Each person controlling one of the 4 characters, which is really awesome. Loving the art style. I'm loving the animation, and the attacks and everything are super cool. It's going to be a free-to-play one, so, again, like we were talking about free-to-play games and stuff, so you can expect to pay for costumes and colors and stuff like that, but hopefully it won't be too exorbitant in terms of the pricing. We don't know, how that's going to take place, but there's a closed alpha that's going to happen in a couple of weeks on August 8th. I already signed up for it, so I'm definitely interested in that. And finally, well, maybe not finally, but finally for EVO, we had the return of the absolutely completely dead, according to producer Harada, Heihachi Mishima is going to be coming back to Tekken 8, which is amazing for longtime fans of the series. I don't know what they're going to do story-wise with that, but it's certainly interesting to me. Harada is just up there just completely lying to people, saying that Heihachi is completely dead, which is really hilarious. I thought that was a good moment for EVO for the fans. And then I said that was finally, right? Well, I lied. I also lied, just like Harada. Capcom also very much wants to make a new Versus series game. According to an interview that they had with IGN, one of the producers of Street Fighter VI said that he is open to doing another Versus series game. So, depending on how well things go with Terry and Mai being in Street Fighter 6, hopefully that'll lead to a new Capcom versus SNK, or maybe we'll get another Marvel versus Capcom game. It seems like these things are in the works because they are definitely communicating. All these companies are communicating with Capcom, so that's nice to see. One more bit of news that came out from Comic-Con actually this past weekend. Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns DLC. This is an expansion coming out in October. It includes a new single-player storyline, and characters like T-1000 from Terminator 2 are coming. Conan the Barbarian's also coming, and Ghostface from Scream, which I know Red would be excited about, is coming to the game, Mortal Kombat 1. This is Mortal Kombat 1 from like this year or last year, whenever it came out, by the way, not the original Mortal Kombat. Also, we're getting... January. Okay, so this year. Also getting new Cyrax and new Sector characters, which is really awesome. And apparently now they're both women and they are both not robots. So that's an interesting redesign of the characters. It looks like very similar attacks to the old robotic versions, though, which is kind of awesome. And Noob Saibot is also coming. So that's an interesting one. Definitely very cool.
I'm curious how they're going to do that, considering the new storyline.
Yeah, apparently he's created by Havoc now, this new version of Havoc, who's like all skeletal and stuff like that. He's kind of like almost like the Thanos of the story. At one point in the trailer, he takes off his skull-ish head and like uses it to bang a gong, literally. Like he puts it on the end of a stick and bangs a gong with it. And I think that's hilarious. You should always bang the gong with the head. Anyway, so yeah, exciting news coming out of EVO, and like I said, I kind of went on and on about this, but if I gotta be the one person that really truly loves fighting games, I will be that person here on the show. So just looking forward to that. Okay, so, and it's funny, Scottish, that you mentioned Fortnite, because like I'm just bad at everything apparently, because I'm bad at Fortnite, I'm bad at fighting games, but you know what? I am getting a little bit better at fighting games, so maybe that's after years and years,
maybe you just haven't found your niche yet, baby. Like,
or maybe I'm just getting more and more neurodivergent, Allie.
You're unmasking.
Very possible.
I don't know. Anyway, okay, all right, everybody. Ren, did you want to add anything to that? By the way, I know I kind of covered a lot in that one little segment, but
I would say that, in all honesty, like Scottish said, I mean, you just got to find your niche when it comes to the games themselves, because you've got skill and you've got talent in some of the games that you bash yourself on.
Oh yeah,
and
you've got it.
And it sucks hearing you to down yourself, because I mean, but then again, I also understand. I bash myself all the time with my own stuff.
I know. Yeah.
So,
I mean, okay, I don't suck completely, okay? I'll say that much. But, like, Allie's a lot better at it. Scottish is a lot better at it. Red's a lot better at it. I just, like,
Listen,
sometimes
I'm
I worry
a press
that
and pray. I just do whatever I can.
I worry, I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but I sometimes worry that I'm, like, bringing down the squad. You know what I mean? And it's, like, I shouldn't think that way, because, like, Allie, you always tell me it's about playing with your friends and it's about having fun with your friends, and we don't look at you that way and stuff. And you always tell me that, and I appreciate you for that, and I love you for that. So thank you.
Yeah, and if you think I'm actually better than you, then you have not been watching my gameplay all that much closely.
Are you trying to say that you suck your friends there, Neil?
Yes, I'm trying to say that I suck.
I'm pulling your words together.
I am absolutely trying to say that, yes. I was dancing around that topic, but let me tell you, sucking your friends is always a plus and should be done at all times. Anyway.
It's expensive.
But I mean, I'm super excited. I played a little bit of Tekken 8 yesterday, and just to kind of like, refresh myself, and I hadn't played it in so long, and it just reminded me of how much I love it. So, and Reyna's such a cool character, and she can step on me any day she wants, man. Any minute, any moment, any second. Do it, Reyna. Step on evil Neo. Okay. All right, we're moving on now to the last part of the podcast, because we want to end this on a more positive note. So I got a question for y'all. What you playing right now? What are you enjoying? What are you looking forward to? Allie,
right now,
please tell us.
Right now, I am currently hyper focused on Minecraft again. I've been expanding on my Minecraft world, building a lot of pretty things, kind of getting used to doing that. I haven't looked too far forward in games. I am still excited about seeing the Starship Trooper game in October. I think that's really the only thing I've been looking forward to and have been following.
I am excited to see that too. Wow. Jesus, that in October already? Wow, we're getting so close. Holy crap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, Rin, what have you been playing, my friend?
Well, like I said before, I've been playing Infinite Wealth on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be streaming Kingdom Hearts 2, or not 2, just the first one, the 1.5 remix.
Oh, nice. Cool.
For the most part, I've been doing that. I also, and I've been kicking myself to do this, need to get back into Elden Ring so that I can get to the DLC, because I bought the DLC, and by God, I'm going to kill the boss that I need to so I can actually play the damn thing.
I feel you on that.
But I have a backlog of shame when it comes to games.
So do I.
Yeah.
And I'm slowly, surely working on removing that backlog as best as I can. But right now, my two main focuses are, at least one non-stream related, are going to be Infinite Wealth and Elden Ring, and I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. All right. Okay, Scottish, what have you been playing?
So mostly with myself.
Details,
I'm
please.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. No, in all seriousness though, there was a game that I noticed recently. One of my favorite YouTubers playing is Chained Together.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had a chance to go
Good
on
game.
it yet, but my partner, he has been streaming it with his friend on Twitch, and they have been fucking hilarious. Like, he is in the room upstairs when he's on his computer, and I'm directly downstairs on my PC, and I can hear him screeching, shouting, yelling, and it's such a genuinely peaceful game. Like, you're just like, it's like only ways up kind of game, based in the depths of hell, and I love that. But it's so, oh my God, it's just hilarious, the absolute mayhem and the tricks that it plays on you. That, as well as I'm currently looking at my list. It's 7 Days to Die is updating with the latest release. I have never really played 7 Days, but with the gameplay that you guys have been doing, I'm kind of wanting to go into it. So I think I'm going to give it a go maybe this week and see how I get on. But otherwise, I'm mostly just going to be playing on like the usuals, like Minecraft and stuff like that. Something that I've been enjoying with my little one as well. So he's becoming a little gamer himself. So we're getting him into the basic starter packs.
That's cool. That's amazing.
That really is. That's awesome.
Yeah. So for myself, I have been playing, of course, Fortnite at some times, with Red and Allie and everybody, and also Once Human with Patrick and Red, and some First Descendant, but I've kind of dropped off of that. Also been getting back into fighting games, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1. Gonna play some Street Fighter 6 probably a little bit later. I'm, like I said, 7 Days to Die, I kind of tried to play it. It's not really my thing because it's very heavy survival crafting, which is not really my genre.
That's what I struggled with.
Yeah, it's not really my genre at all. It tends to exhaust me to a degree.
Yeah.
Once Human, I can kind of get past, because not only does it have the crafting elements, it's kind of like, like Paleo, Once Human, Dreamlight Valley, Pal World, even to an extent, where they have like other things for you to do besides that sort of, just the main thing. 7 Days to Die is much more focused on like, okay, this is a crafting game, and plus the interface sucks. And again, that comes from like me as a console gamer, me as an arcade person, fighting games, shooters, stuff like that, where it's like interface so important, and I feel like I grew up outside of the whole like CRPG kind of thing, or like like PC focused gaming sort of thing, because like that is a lot of like inventory management, and it's a lot of like you got to go to this screen here and click over here, and then there's a whole bunch of text to read. There's like a box of text that you got to read figure out what to do with this. And it's like, that really takes me out of an experience. So that just kind of exhausts me at sometimes. But like, I'm trying to be a little bit more open to it, so I'll probably try it again and get back to it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, this has been a great episode. It's been so much fun to talk to all of you, and I really appreciate everybody's perspective and viewpoints. Like, you know, like Allie, what you said about fighting games and stuff, like I said, I find very much common ground with you there, because I don't disagree on multiple levels. I think that like what you're saying is true, and Scottish, what you said as well, and Ryn, what you said. I think that there's room for all kinds of genres and for people to love all different genres and stuff like that. And I think that that's what we try to promote here at Renegade Pop Culture and with this podcast. And, you know, I'm excited to hear about what everybody else thinks as well in the comments below. And please check out our Patreon as well. And check us out at renegadepopculture.com. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and outro. So, you know, with this episode, everybody did such a wonderful job today. Thank you all for being here. Scottish, I'm going to start with you. Where can everybody find you online?
So you can find me on my Twitch at XScottishSoulX. And it's pretty much the same on every other platform as well.
Awesome. Okay. Ryn, where can everybody find you?
Most of the time you'll see me on Twitch. My Twitch is the same as here. It's Rynkoth on Twitch. So.
Okay. And that's RYNKOTH for those of you listening.
That is correct.
All right. Allie, where can everybody find you?
Everybody can find me as the professional coattail rider. I am usually involved in everybody else's community, involved with our good friend, some bitch named Red, with Neoplasmic, Marshy Marrow, Crafty Jackalope, probably a bunch more people that I'm forgetting that they're probably going to be really upset, but I am mainly a behind-the-screens kind of girl where I'm just helping out everybody else build their communities.
Allie is our princess. She is our mega mod. She is just the one that always takes care of us, even in our Discord communities and stuff like that. Allie is always there for us. So Allie, you're a princess. We appreciate you and we love you. Okay, and you can find me on twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. You can also find me at renegadepopculture.com, as I mentioned. That is where we have all of our articles, all of our podcasts. We have an archive of every show that we have done. We did a lot of fun stuff, especially in the early days as well, with video games and with the arcade and stuff. We did a lot of Final Fantasy VII stuff. I still gotta do a panel where we just talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I haven't been able to really talk about that all year long. So if anybody wants to be on that, let me know. And other than that, just everybody have fun, enjoy yourselves. Also on Twitter, you can find me on Twitter as well, Neoplasmic24. Instagram and Threads, Neoplasmic81. So, if you guys want more content, then just hit me up on there. All right, guys, we will talk to you in about 2 to 3 weeks. I think actually 3 weeks, because Red has her big subathon. Big shout out to Red, some bish named Red, that's BISH, not the other word, on Twitter, on Twitter and on Twitch. No, Twitter is a different name. It's bish named Red on Twitter. But on Twitch, some bitch named Red, you can find her streams on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Like I said, she's got a subathon coming up that'll be on August 9th, which is, I believe, a Friday. So that's a big show for her. And also want to give a shout out to my co-host Brock, who couldn't be here today. Organoid Zero is his name on Twitch and pretty much everywhere. So Organoid Zero, I will put that down in the show notes for this episode as well. All right, guys, this has been the Renegade Arcade Reloaded episode 3. Hope you guys had fun with this episode. We love you all. Peace out. Take care of each other. And remember to go vote. Thank you all for listening to the Renegade Arcade.
Easy operation.
Believe you could be so much more. Made for the moment in the era I forged. Live from the minutes where the legends are born, and the myths are forever when they pen our lore. I hear every echo inside of the roar clear. I feel all the hopes inside of the same fear.